misinforming, that information forming. Important, you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focus on scoring. Got your underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. That game plan, show out like a jotter, pop out like a cutter. Telling the quick rock, skipping the country squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my diddy boots, ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. Yeah. If having hope is dangerous, call me evil Knievel. You leading on the wrong side, living with peasant needles. So lethal, made Shane Black wanna write a sequel. Cause I snuggle my dreams till it's seen as illegal. And I still probably will, cause I can never give up. I got my goals calling me, how could I never pick up? Anything we make up or just break up, with the snake hits, get the rake up. Yeah, selfish, I'ma cake up if I don't shake me to wake up. Let my depression catapult me. Rhythm on it. Every time I step in the arena, all I wanna see you do. Hands in the air. Just know when you come to my city to battle, you gotta walk past my statue in the front before you even get to me. Yeah, yo, I've been down it since I was 8, cause my team wasn't no pace. Give them 81 to their face, Jaylee Roses on their grave. Now 24 when they really hate. Love it when the stakes so high, I rest I wasn't like 10 alone on my dinner plate. First take to the max, I kill a man, that's no debate. It was fate since I began, I was bound to be great. In my leg going and singing, in my way of shaking bait. They just say I stay with every move I make. You see the two types of man, the one that's on the court and the one that's in the stand. The one playing the sport and the one that's just a fan. But don't understand, but swear they could do better than you on this last dance. But you Jerry Corset, looking up to Jordan, more than too important. It's still ain't wanna put it. Well, I'm hated up supported, y'all getting extorted. Leave your team assorted, you traded while I'm awarded. Hey, let me see those hands now. Let me see you dance now. Let me see those hands now. Let me see you dance now.
Stand back and watch it go mode. Half man, half ram, call it go mode. On the proud with my ground, call it go mode. GOAT, you know we
now
go
they call me PW Kirk, a legend in 2 games. I went from dancing to rapping, I'm bodying both lanes. They had me down 3-1, came back like King James. I ain't chasing this fame, just stacking up all this change. Look, I wasn't tall, so I idolized the guards. Now I cross over like Iverson with these bars. I was in China like Marbury living large. And Kimber Walker from the Bronx, I knew I could be a star. I made a couple raps and now they asking, can I open up? I got them fans throwing up their arms like I woke them up. See me on their TV screens, more you going up. Ain't gotta brag, you know what's up when we showing up. They told me be the best I can be. I ain't the definition of gold, it's the definition of me. 10,000 hours time to take the game mastery, and I'm in gold mode with this Mamba mentality. Let me see those hands now. Let me see you dance now. Let me see those hands now. Let me see you dance now.
Stand back and watch it go mode. Half man, half ram, call it go mode. On the proud with my ground, call it go mode. GOAT, you know we gon' go.
Greatest of all time, the greatest of all things. Waffle crew in the house, the greatest of all teams. When I talent to America like AGT, 2K23, you cannot play with me. I'm a step ahead like a stutter step that you went for. Pump fake, 4-point play like I'm Chris Paul. Vince Carter over foreign giants, hopping out the foreign like a giant. Known to be quiet, causing a riot.
Any goats in the house? Hey. How's everybody doing? Listen, this is Bravo with Sheila. We are back. You know how we do it here. We open up with Ty Dre. That's right, my artist. I'm always putting them up there, getting them some exposure, whether it's on the old ladies channel or anybody's channel. Ty Dre, you can't stop them. Goat mode. Any goats in the house? Welcome to Bravo with Sheila. Listen, this is a place where we move you from pain to power and from power to victory, right? Because we know, at least I know, when nothing changes, nothing changes. So you got to be an agent of change. So listen, I got a special, listen, I tell you, I've been doing it this month, blessing these ladies, getting these ladies on the platform, letting them share with you how they got to where they are, where they're headed. And you know, I always bring you dope information, dope content. And tonight I'm excited because she doesn't know it, but I knew her before she came out the womb, but she kind of knows it, right? But listen, She is somebody, I'm telling you, I'm so glad that she took time out to grace us with her presence. She is the queen of Harlem. That's right. And you know, I'm a Harlemite to the bone. The queen of Harlem is in the house. And I can't wait to chat with her. I can't wait to have a conversation with her. But before we do that, I want to talk about her a little bit. I got to do an intro. I got to do her justice, because you know what I say, give yourself a bravo, because if you wait for somebody to come and encourage you, they may not show up. So you take that right hand, that left hand, you put it on your mind, your heart, wherever you got to put it, and give yourself a bravo. And guess what? You don't even need permission. You don't need permission, because I said so. You just encourage yourself. So Michelle Smalls in the house, better known as the Queen of Harlem, all over the place, not just in Harlem. She's international, doing great things. And I'm excited to chat with her. I want to open up this show. I want to talk about her first, and then we're going to drop the intro. The Queen of Harlem. Listen to me. Oh, everybody stand at attention. The Queen of Harlem Commandments is the first book by Michelle Smalls, a Harlem powerhouse who turned her pain into prosperity by following a code of conduct. She first learned living in the life as a street boss. Miss Small's journey is not unlike many young women of color living in the inner cities that learn early in life how to rise above pain. Let me see you raise your hand in the church. I can say amen to that. Pain, loss, and disappointment. Through it all, the queen made no excuses. Instead, I heard you. She made commandments. This book shares Miss Small's moments of heartache, triumphs, betrayal, and disloyalty. I know a lot about that. She believes in order to survive and be successful in the hustle of life, you must respect the code and follow the commandments. Wait a minute, I'm not done. Hold on, hold tight. Michelle Smalls is known as the Queen of Harlem to many in the community. Michelle's goal is to put smiles on the faces of young people by way of giving back to the community at large. Michelle is an influencer. Oh my goodness, a serial entrepreneur. Did you hear me? A serial, I love that, entrepreneur, real estate broker, and philanthropist. For well over a decade, Michelle Smalls, as a social impact leader, has always placed a high priority on youth and the community. Listen, I could go on and on about her, but I got to finish this last paragraph. Hold tight. Michelle intuitively sees the needs and desires of her community. As an inspirational leader who focuses on problem solving, she takes full action and hosts outstanding charity events like her Christmas toys and coats drive, community Halloween parties, back to school drive, preparing teens for their proms, and having an all-girl basketball team. She is a pillar in the Harlem community and at large. She done passed the borders now. She's like going international. God is really pushing and opening her borders. He's expanding her. So I want you to hold tight. I want you to celebrate her as I bring her to the stage. Let me play this opener, and after this opener, you will be meeting the one and only Michelle Smalls. Are you ready? I can't hear you. Are you ready? Be right back. And we are back, and I am bringing this beautiful, beautiful sister to the stage. I bring to you Miss Michelle Smalls. How are you doing?
I'm amazing. How are you?
I'm amazing. I'm amazing right along with you. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm happy that you took time to stop by. Bravo. I really appreciate it. I know you're a busy lady. I know you're trying to get in that gym, and you stopped your workout just to come and chat with me. I am so happy that you're here. We got people in the chat.
Who wouldn't?
Listen, I love you. I love your family. We got people in the chat greeting everyone. We got Sir Hale in the house. We got Ine. Thank you guys for being here. I am so happy. We got some people in the bleachers that don't like to come in the chat, but I salute them. And I'm so happy that they're there. Michelle, I don't want to hold you long because I know, but I had to get you on the platform in the month of March, because this is a platform we celebrate women, and we have brave brothers. I gave them names. We got names for our people. The women are the bravettes and the men are brave bros, right? So sometimes the men come on over and they hang out with us. And I am just so excited because today, this month, I've been really bringing wonderful women to the platform, giving them their flowers and giving them a standing ovation. And tonight I give you a standing ovation, my dear, for all that you've done. And you have so much life in front of you. Tell us a little bit about Michelle. Just go back. Now, I know you're from Harlem. We're Harlemites in the house tonight. I know that. But take us back a little bit so that the people can understand your journey.
Okay. Well, I'm Michelle Smalls. I'm from Harlem, born and raised. Went to junior elementary in Harlem, junior high, and high school. I actually dropped out and then went back. I own a couple of businesses in Harlem, and I grew up on people like Sheila, my aunts, and well, actually, I thank y'all for paving the way. Definitely. Anything I do know, I got a little bit from here and there, but I just thank you because y'all were able to pave a way. Now we have so much catty stuff where everybody fight against each other versus building one another. So I'm just happy that when your era, I was able to follow some of y'all footsteps. So I thank y'all.
You are welcome. You're doing a great job. Doing a great job. Michelle, what gave you I know that, I know your family, and I know that did you always have a vision? Did you always know that you wanted to be one to give? I mean, because I know there were struggles early on with you finding your way. And then when you locked into it, I mean, you're doing so much now. I mean, you're being humble right now. I mean, you are the real estate person. You're buying buildings and property, restaurants, and you're doing so much. Take us back a little bit just to empower some of the women that will see this now and later on how you segued and navigated through some of those landmines.
Sheila, it's a little hard for me to elaborate and brag because it's all through God. A lot of times I don't have a clue. I just follow his word. Like if God say move, I move. Sometimes I don't know where I'm going, but at the end results, I'm definitely there. But it's definitely hard work and dedication. And I advise people to listen to themselves. A lot of times people get caught up into what other people think. And, your mind might be too big for others. And just
that's
because
good.
I can do it, I mean, just because you can't do it, don't mean I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people put their insecurities on others. I don't let people put their insecurities on me. If it's something I want to do, if I fail, I'm going to try it and then fail. But I'm not going to let nobody say I can't do anything.
Yeah, because you're right. The negativity is strong and it comes from every angle once you begin to rise above. I know for me growing up in Harlem, always having a dream, people are greeting you. Sir Hale is saying, hey, Michelle. Ine is saying hello. Everyone is saying hello to you. They greet you here. This is a wonderful, I have wonderful people. Hey, Miss Michelle. That's what Ine is saying. So, yeah, I understand totally what you're saying to keep your mindset on one track when you're around a lot of people. Some may have dreams, some may not. All may have dreams. Some can't navigate through the stuff or the voices, right? And so when that happens and say you begin to grow emotionally and mentally, certain friends drop off, or then you really see who true people are that you thought was with you, right?
Yeah, you cannot be scared to separate because it's people in your life for particular reasons and particular times. I mean, sometimes people are not meant to be there forever. Sometimes people are to teach you a lesson. Sometimes you never know what it is, but you don't hold on to what's dead.
That's true. That's true. And you have done you're still so very young. And you didn't know. You knew my daughter. You're very close to my oldest daughter and didn't know I was her mom, right?
Yes, I was Because I've always heard you in my household. Sheila Ingram, she's singing. And then I finally got to see you at my mother's wedding. And I was like, okay, they're not lying. That lady can sing. So I've always knew you and admired you. However, when Nicole was saying, we was sitting in the park and she was saying, oh, because my mom listened. And I was saying, she lying, ain't her mom. And then Peyton, she was like,
Peyton.
yes. Peyton said, yes, that is Sheila's daughter. I was like, oh God, embarrassment. But I definitely was in my mind, that's not her mother. Because I've known you, but I didn't know who Nicole was.
Right. And you see the dots.
Yeah.
Nicole was what? I didn't hear you.
Nicole was always close. So, but I never knew you were her mom.
Yeah, that's so funny how, the dots connect, and how I knew your family, the Smalls family, always was around them, right? And to see, our paths growing up, and I was traveling, I was singing, and then I became a pastor, and then ministry, took me to a whole nother route, right? Like you said, God, you never know what he's going to do with you, what he's preparing you for, how he's going to shift you from a place you never thought you would be shifted from, at least not in that kind of lane, right? And when that began, I totally kind of fell off the scene, for lack of a better term, right? I didn't disappear. I just was going somewhere else, right? But my roots and the people that the foundation of friendships or whatever remain the same. And so I kept hearing about you. And at first I couldn't attach the name with the title Queen of Harlem. So I kept hearing Queen of Harlem. And I was like, well, wait a minute, who's the Queen of Harlem? Hold on.
Yes, that's supposed to be. And it's so weird because I was just as stuck as you. What happened was, it was a bunch of people, they were trying to do a party together, and I'm all for unity. So, I don't need a bunch of recognition. I don't need all of that stuff. So, everybody wants to be like, oh, well, my party is the best. So I was like, so Reggie said, Michelle, could you make everybody do a party together? He was like, I bet you can't get it done. And when I got it done, we had an amazing time. It was over 3,000 people and everybody united. It was just like a great event. And Reggie was like, oh God, you're the Queen of Harlem. So that day I laughed it off or whatever the case may be. So I go into a park and I'm in the park and a boy was like, Queen of Harlem. And I was looking, because I didn't even know that was me yet. So he was like, Queen of Harlem. And then I turned around and he was actually talking to me. And then the name just stuck after that.
Look at that. But see, you have to understand, everything is designed by God, and he changed your name for an area where you were going to dominate. You didn't know at that point. It started with a dare, right? God will get the message whatever way he can. It started with a dare. And once you get a dare and you're competitive, you're saying, I can't do something. And then you wind up doing it. And then here comes this whole flow that pushes you now all the way into this whole other level, right? And so again, it's God. It's a God thing, and answering the call and identifying with what he wants to tag on you, not what people want to tag on you. And I know at that point in your life, the jealousy turned up.
Right.
Oh my.
And so I can't say I end up getting an ego at one point. I started making so much money, and I bought a house, I bought expensive cars, I bought all of these things. And, I got a little caught up. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, my house was in foreclosure, car was repo. So God know how to humble you too. Exactly. So that's when I was like, thank you, God. So that's why now I'm not attached to anything. And I know none of this stuff is mine. So I make money, but this is not my money. It's for, so I understand. I understand now. So I'm not touching God's money. I'm not messing with it. So when they say she did these big events, it's not my money. God gave it to me to give. Yeah. And I totally understand it, because when I took it as my money, he took it away from me. So now I'm in a place where I understand it's not mine.
You got the message. And not only that, you're sowing back into the lives. And I see the more you're sowing, and I'm watching you, the more he's elevating you. The more you're sowing, the more he's just expanding your borders and giving you more vision. And more. I've seen you on IG go into buildings and apartments that people would call trash. I've seen you gut the apartments and turn them into a beautiful home for someone. I've seen you do so many things. Your Christmas, when did you start the Christmas drive? Your drives is like walking into a department store. When did you start?
11 years ago, I bought a salon in Harlem, and it was this little boy, because actually 2 doors down from my salon is a shelter. So a little boy was walking by and he didn't have on no coat, and it was freezing outside. And I was like, "Where's your coat?" And he said he didn't have one. He didn't go to school because he didn't have a coat. So I asked all my friends, I said, "Can y'all please donate 5 coats apiece? All right, whatever you can, but it has to be new." And that year, 11 years ago, I ended up buying 30 coats, and 70 coats was donated. So I gave away 100 coats that year. The following year, it got bigger. The following year, and then now, 11 years later, I have, like you said, I could do pretty much a department store at this point.
Amazing, amazing. But see, the obedience, this is where it says obedience is better than sacrifice. When you see God blesses you and you mess it up, he says, "Okay, I got you. You know, I got you." He humbled you, but you didn't get angry in the humbling. You got the message in the humbling. There's always a message to walk out of any low place with. And then you began to do, and your heart was always to give. So then you do the coat drive. Then you started doing toy drives and Easter things. And I mean, everything you could imagine, you're doing it for the community.
And, I grew up in this community, and like I said, previously, I've seen with my Uncle Jerry and different people will say, "You know what, go to the store and give you $5. Or, they see that you're struggling and just care. I will go to Wall Street, and Fritz would say, "Well, Shara, you got a good report card? Show me your report card and I'll give you $100. I grew up on that era where it was black parties and unity. Now it's just like everybody just hates each other. So that's why I'm just trying to restore the old feeling, because it's too negative out here, and I have kids growing up here, and I don't want them to grow up with what's available now.
That's so true. How your mindset is, the sky, you're just gonna continue to break ceilings. You're just a ceiling breaker, and I'm so impressed that you have other young girls watching you, and you mentoring and showing them how to be an entrepreneur, like, watch me. I didn't come from this. I came from that, and they're watching you and giving them hope, because we have still so many children in the inner city that are hungry, who parents are still caught up in the game, right? Who's doing things. So they need to have role models like yourself, right? And so I think it's just so powerful. I remember it's such an awesome feeling. I teach etiquette, right? I'm a certified etiquette teacher. And when I was in North Carolina, I opened up an etiquette school for our little brown children. And because they didn't know certain things, how to fold a napkin, how to use one, they didn't know simple things. And one day I got 20 girls, young girls, and I rented a van, a beautiful van, and I took them to this 5-star restaurant. I knew they would be a little intimidated, but I tried to show them the knife and the fork and the parfait, this, that. And here we are. The night was awesome. They was like, "Oh my God, Miss Sheila. Oh my God." They was like, "Well, what's this for? What's this for?" And to see the excitement on their faces, right? And I said, "I never want you to feel intimidated. I want you to be able to go in any room, whether it's a McDonald's or the White House. I want you to know how to even sit at a table. And if you don't know what to pick up, you watch the person who's picking up the right utensil," right? And so years later, most recently, I get an inbox from the mother of 2 of the girls who said that they are corporate presidents, and who talk about me to this day on how I made such an impact in that one moment.
Yeah.
You just never know. You just have to give of yourself. You have to give of yourself. So it's pretty much, I say that to say, years to come, people will come back. The children will come back and say, "Look, this is the lady." And then, like you said, we don't do it to get the pat. It's a wonderful feeling when you have.
I'm telling you, it really rejoiced my soul. Like, let me say, how do you compensate it? You don't understand. Seeing that smile on that child's face, I got more than compensation. Like, you couldn't pay me for the feeling that I feel right now. The joy that I feel, you couldn't pay me.
Absolutely. So now let's talk a little bit because I know you're sitting outside the gym, but this is good. We're having a good time, right? We're having a good
You're
time.
fine.
So I now you've done this community thing. You're still doing community. I mean, you have the restaurant. Is this restaurant I see you in tasting food? Is that your restaurant in Harlem?
Okay, I have two juice bars, but they both sell
Juice
food.
bars.
Yes. Both of them sell food. I have one on 119th and 5th Avenue called Simply Juicing. And then I have one on 143rd between 7th and Lenox called Our Hood Juicing.
Oh, I saw the Our Hood juicing the other day and the other one. I said I have to get down to Harlem because I love juicing and I just love what you're doing. So I got to put my feet in some of these places just to feel it. And so I'm watching all of that as well as now a few years ago, well, we grew up in Forster and you guys were on 116. So that's how we became
Right.
so close, right? And so Forster always was known. Well, I call it Forster. They changed the name to King Towers, right? But those of us,
Mm.
those of us that are originals, we call it the Forster Projects, and it was always known for the hub for ballers, right?
Right.
My brother comes through there. My daughter is a baller. We know the ballers of Harlem and we know Millbank. We're getting ready to do, my sister passed away and we started doing a basketball tournament for her every Mother's Day. And we give scholarships to certain kids based on how they write their essay and doing things. So she used to always go 125th and feed the homeless. So her daughter, do you know my niece, Shushu, Cherie?
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
Yep.
she's kept my sister thing going. It's called Shine a Light 21. And so she continues. Well, Millbank, we know Millbank is where all of our children went to or whatever. So the basketball hub for Harlem is right in the area that we grew up in. But the Forster Projects, the circle,
Right.
the circle. So I remember I was 11 years old in a singing group. It was 4 guys and me. I was the littlest one, and they threw me in the group. And that's when the ring, we used to call it the ring. And they put me on this stage. It used to be full of grass. You don't know nothing about that. You wasn't born. It was full of grass before it became a basketball court. But I've been to so many games. My brother, that was Mr. Magic on the court. You know how it is. And everyone comes to the projects Forster for these tournaments. Well, I came back from North Carolina and found out that Forster had become TV worthy and all these stars and all these rappers and these tournaments have gone to another level. Now, you tell me how you etched your way in and why you're doing what you're doing there.
Okay. Well, Forster, as we know, it started a lot of gun violence.
Mm-hmm.
And they stopped the tournaments. And I talked to this little boy and I was like, what's the problem? And he wanted to play ball. And he was like, well, we can't play ball because it's not safe or whatever the case may be. So when he said that, it bothered me because we don't give them anything, but then we get mad when they get in trouble. So I said, you know what? So Hunk called me and he asked me, he said, Michelle, could you do the tournament this year? I said, let me think about it. So I went back and I started thinking about it and I was like, you know what? Let me see how can I make this make sense. So I started strategizing far as like the security, where I'm gonna put my money at. So when Honcho came to talk to me, I said, okay, I'll do it, but we just have to do it this way. I have to have ample amount of security because when I invite people, I need them to feel safe. When I invite somebody's kid, those are my kids. I'm going to put my life on the line for them kids. So I have to make sure this place is safe. And I paid for the security out of pocket and we had an amazing year. And that was the first time in like 15 years that there was no violence.
Wow.
And the next year, once they seen that they could come out and it was safe, it just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And everybody enjoyed themselves and with no violence. And the kids got to be able to play. And then a parent, I think her kids was maybe like 7 and 10. And she said, the only time I let my kids come outside is when you're doing a tournament because it's not safe. And I felt horrible because I had other things to do, but I made it my business to come to Kingdom every time it opened because I wanted to make sure that she was comfortable with letting her kids outside.
Wow. But now, Michelle, you're getting ready to do something spectacular. You done took this thing to a whole nother level. And I know you were so excited around 3 days ago because you got some top people from the NBA.
Right. The NBA,
It's-
three players. I mean, well, two players, a sports agent, and the president of the NBA. They reached out, and we're trying to formulate how kids could get sponsored through basketball. So we're trying to figure out how we gonna pay them and who's gonna get paid, and we're working on that now.
That's awesome. So this summer you're having a big tournament in Kingdom, right?
No. I'm doing Marcus Garvey Park this year.
Oh, Marcus Garvey this year. Well, that's right around the corner, so that's okay. And that's going to be huge.
We're doing Marcus Garvey, and they gonna put it was weird because they offered me a bunch of money to coordinate it. I was like, I don't want $1, just put it into the youth. So now we're trying to see how the money is going to be spread around, and then we're going to work on the days and etc.
That's awesome. I'm so very proud of you. So I'm serious. I'm so proud of you, not just because you can give so much hope. You know, you so much hope. We need hope.
But it was given to me. That's what was given to me. People gave me hope, and I used to see this. I can't even remember the older man's name, and I was selling socks. I was like 11 years old, and I was selling socks, and he always said, "You're gonna be something." And his wife would come by and like, "I promise you, when you get older, you're gonna." So they gave me hope. So as young, I knew that I was gonna do something. I just didn't know what, but I knew I was going to do something.
But you was an entrepreneur at 11. You know what I mean? Your brain was working. You that gift. And that's why people say, what good can come out of the inner city? What good can come out of the hood? What good can come out of the ghetto? A lot of good can come out. A lot of good can come out, but it's such a stigma. And they are saying, this is so awesome, helping kids. She's, I know this is such an incredible story. So being that your hands isn't so much, right? I know you have, I just know there got to be a movie or something coming. That it has to be something that's getting ready to happen in terms of film, because I just see it on you.
They've been asking me for the past 4 years, but what I've learned is I don't want to do anything prematurely.
Okay.
Like even far as the book, even far as the book, it was Dame Dash. Dame Dash called me every single day. Michelle, give me a chapter. And he was like, what happened here? What happened here? And I told him all the things. And next thing you know, I had a whole book. So it wasn't even my intentions. He suckered me into writing a book. So I have definitely got a bunch of offers, but I'm just not ready.
Yeah, and I could see that because you know what, you need to live a little bit more.
Yeah,
you got some more things to, you got to live a little bit more, and then, I wrote my book 5 years ago, but I'm a seasoned citizen now. Notice I said seasoned.
Season, yeah. So you're going to have an amazing story. I just think that I just got a little more to do before I get to a vet like you.
Yeah.
Got some more work to do.
Exactly, because you're going to have so many more chapters and everything, but I see it coming. And so tell us before you go, because I'm going to let you get in the gym, but when I sign off, just stay right there before you leave me. What's next? What's next? What do you do? What's on your heart that you could reveal that's next?
Okay, my ultimate goal is actually a group home etiquette class. And I'm going to have from maybe like an 80 unit building. And it's going to be from 14 to 24 years old. And I'm going to show women how to live self-sufficient. But they're going to go through job training. They're going to go through courses. They're going to go through all of those things before they can go out on their own. Because what happens is a lot of times in the shelters, what I see is they give them a program a year. They don't have a clue. After the year, they stuck back in the street. So I want to give them a program where they can see and do level and stages until they're self-sufficient.
That is so true. This, I worked for the shelter for 6 years. I outreach to homeless, under bridges, all of that, and then the families, the breaking of the families and the children. Like you said, they would make them have these classes and whatever, but that was it. They would just
Yeah,
drop
they
them.
right
They would
out.
drop them. They didn't even know. Some of them didn't even know how to guys to take them to the supermarket to teach them how to buy food.
Yeah, they don't
They
know how
would
to
just
wash properly,
no.
anything, and then you just push them out, and then they right back in the system. So
They're
I want
right
to
back.
break that cycle. Like when they elevate, not just
That's
go
good.
in a circle.
That is good. That is so good. And I know you got more and more, but that's major and that's needed. And like I said, God's just going to continue to expand your borders because your heart is right. And when your heart is right, he can use you.
Yeah,
When
well,
you're
first.
what say that again?
To humble me first. Once he humble me, now I know this stuff is not mine. I don't want it. And
He dropped you hard, huh? He just let you just
super hard. I was in the cloud nine. I thought I couldn't do no wrong. And car went, house in foreclosure. I was like, oh yeah, I hear you. You ain't got to tell me twice. I hear you, God.
yeah, that's good. We all go through, that's part of the story. That's your testimony, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that, people get full of themselves, but sometimes it just happens when you get so much, it came so fast to you. And
Yeah.
so much.
100 speeches about what I did. And that's why I know now this is not me, this is God. So whatever he had me to say, I'll say it. And whatever he don't have me say, I won't. I'm not bragging about anything because everything is through him.
Everything is through him. But I tell you, I know he's smiling at you, and he has his angels encamped around you, right? So I just pray that the Lord will continue to keep you, right? And continue to keep giving you visions and dreams, and you'll keep giving it to the people because that's what it's about. When we
Right?
believers, it's about what did he do? It's not about all this other stuff that we're talking about that people lose focus on why God blesses them. You get blessed by being a blessing,
Right.
but once you don't have that peace and you lose focus, then things happen. I always say that I'm an agent of change in whatever little way that I can make a change, because people know me on this platform, on Facebook, everywhere. They know, and all I have to do is say, what do I say? And people will say, when nothing changes, nothing changes. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. There
Exactly.
has to be a shift. There has to be a change in order to see change. And you are doing a great, great job. Hey, good evening, Red Lipstick. Good to see you. And Nay, Sir Hill, all of you, thank you for being here. I give this wonderful young lady a standing ovation tonight. Please tell people your handle, where they can reach out to you, where they can follow you.
Okay. It's Michelle Smalls. On Instagram is Queen of Harlem. On Facebook is Michelle Smalls. And I have a real estate office. That number is, if you're looking for an apartment, is 646-422-7681.
Say the number again.
646-422-7681.
Yeah, this has been good. And I'm so glad you stayed in your car and didn't run in the gym. You can go get your
No,
workout
I'm
now.
so glad. It's an honor to talk to you as well, Sheila.
It's wonderful. It's just wonderful. I'm just so proud of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, my wonderful people, my bravettes and my brave brothers, listen, you have been wonderful to come over here to the platform and support us tonight. It is still Women's Month. I got some great ladies that's going to close out. I have the mayor of New Mount Vernon going to be on the platform. I have let me say her name right. Her name is Priscilla Etchy. She is one of the old gangsters, that you might find her on BET. She has changed and flipped her script. And she's going to be on the platform talking about her life as one of the kingpin women and how she turned her life around and how she's giving back to people. So I'm closing this month out powerful. I just love hearing women's stories because I know in unity we can move mountains. We can support each other. We can uplift each other. When one is falling, one fall, we just pull a sister back up. I have stepped on so many landmines in my life and so many potholes. right? And so I know what it's like to need someone to come along and just give you a kind word to say, you can do this again. Get back up and keep it moving. And Nay is saying, you are an inspiration, Miss at Michelle. She's saying you're
Oh,
an inspiration.
thank you, beautiful.
Lady Naveau is saying, amen. Amen. I tell you, she's saying, Nay is saying, thank you. Red Lipstick is in the house. Hey, sis, how are you? And so, listen, it's been a great night. Listen, you guys, I love you so much. Stay tuned for more. And remember, the Sheila Ingram Ministry broadcast, the ministry channel, The Word Thirst. Are you thirsty? Come on over on Wednesdays at 12 noon and hang out with me as we break the word open. We had a good time on the other, on Wednesday. We talked about the prescription for worship. And it was wonderful, wonderful. So stay tuned. Go on over there and subscribe. I have to build that channel. And those of you that would like to give, you see, I need some lighting. You guys know that I need things. Go ahead and sow. You see the Cash App up there. You see the PayPal up there. I'm here every week being a servant. Now help me grow. We got through the first year. Now we need to move in a better situation for the second year. So, and you know, I never ask for money. You guys know that. But I figured someone said, well, you don't have nothing because you don't ever tell your audience to give you a seed. So I'm saying at I Am Sheila is my PayPal, and $ Sheila Patricia is my Cash App. I love you so much. Stay right there, Michelle. You guys, I'm going to close out the show. I really appreciate your presence. And let's do a soft closing. And Michelle, don't move.
Okay.